And now, the general weather around Alaska.
All right, first up here, we've got high wind warnings out for areas of the southeast coast starting later tonight here in the southern areas and then working northward late tonight into tomorrow. For the red shaded areas here, looking for winds of 35 miles an hour, gusting above 60 miles an hour. Some areas will see higher wind gusts than that, and other areas will see lower wind gusts. Also flood watches out in the red shaded areas as well. And high wind warning out until midday tomorrow or so. And from there, looking at satellite imagery, some of a break moving through a little bit there for the southeast coast. Rainfall is more showery and not as heavy as it had been the previous days, but you can see a lot of moisture here already making landfall along the central and south coast. Low pressure right in this area. Back to the west, a trough dropping southward here and southeastward, starting to feed some cold air into this center, and that's going to intensify it, and it's going to curve up to the north and then make landfall somewhere between Yakutat and Elfin Cove, the way it looks at this point in time, tomorrow afternoon. And that's going to bring some pretty strong winds into areas of the panhandle there, along with good gale force winds. Otherwise, today we had moisture coming westward here, bringing rain all across the North Gulf Coast into Prince William Sound, south central Alaska, and some clouds and moisture up here over the eastern interior. Dry with a fair amount of clearing here. Seward Peninsula up to the Noatak Valley, southward, Nunivak Island, St. Lawrence Island, and in across the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta there. And gusty winds as this system drops southward, winds gusting anywhere from 35 to 55 miles an hour across the Alaska Peninsula, with the strongest wind gusts of the 50 to 50 mile per hour range occurring at King Cove and False Pass, as well as Cold Bay, and at least 45 miles an hour at Unalaska. But a break here with a clearing here going on over the Pribilof Islands and the Aleutians. Next system spreading clouds into the far western areas around Shimia there, as you can see on the last frame here at 2 p.m. this afternoon. And that storm will continue rapidly eastward across the Aleutians tonight, tomorrow, and into Tuesday. And for the forecast for tonight, that front makes an appearance there out to the west, so increasing wind and rain into the western Aleutians. Higher pressure, winds stay light, conditions dry, and these northerly winds continue here for the Alaska Peninsula, northwesterlies, with showers and precipitation starting to slowly diminish some tonight. Later tonight, after midnight, it stays dry here in the west, and rain becomes more showery here over south central Alaska, but over toward western Cook Inlet and the Alaska Range, up into the southeast interior. In fact, much of the upper Tanana Valley 40-mile country continue to see clouds and areas of rain and showers there. Still got a chance of snow there on the western Arctic coast, central and western Arctic coast. And this storm, as you can see right there, it tracks northward and brings good gale force winds into the south coast of the Panhandle, with rain spreading back in over the area, heavy at times, and northward. And this low kind of tracking up to just east of Kodiak Island is going to start drying it out on those northwest winds behind it, as that trough weakens it back into a trough here for tomorrow. And so dry day for Kodiak, continued dry for Bristol Bay, western part of the state looking really good with high pressure edging eastward here. Dry but still low breezy along the Alaska Peninsula, but winds continuing in a downward trend and will continue to do so as that ridge axis moves over the area. Low pressure tracks up to about Yakutat tomorrow afternoon, with the front pushing inland across the southeast coast. And areas of rain and showers over the east side of the state, and still looking at some light snow for the western and central Arctic coast into the North Slope. Mixed precipitation here, especially when you get into the Brooks Range on northward. That'll be in the form of snow, otherwise rain showers to the south. And that system bringing good gale force winds into the central Aleutians now, with rain pushing to about Atka tomorrow afternoon. And then for the day on Tuesday, strong low pressure in the central Bering Sea and we've got 40 to 50 knot winds blowing across out of the west, blowing across all of the Aleutians, southern Bering Sea, and that's driving that front eastward here with rain pushing across the Alaska Peninsula as southwest Kodiak Island during the afternoon hours and reaching the southwest coast here also in the afternoon. Otherwise, inland areas staying pretty nice, light winds and sunshine and fair conditions all the way up into the Brooks Range and the North Slope. Couple of weak troughs up here, keeping a chance of some light snow or flurries along the Arctic coast and portions of the North Slope. And still pretty unsettled with showers here over south central Alaska. Low pressure just south of the coast here, and a trough from that, keeping showers even into the Copper River Basin. And southwest flow continues, so embedded in that southwest flow surges of moisture. Here's another trough, bringing it more showers and rain into the coast. Showers in the south, more of a rain pattern to the north, but much lighter, and winds a lot lighter than they will be later tonight and tomorrow. And from there, looking at the forecast for Tuesday, that entire low center drip moves due east right over Kodiak Island by Wednesday afternoon. That drives that front eastward here right into the eastern Gulf of Alaska, once again increasing the wind and rain across the panhandle throughout the day on Wednesday. Gales back in the picture probably Wednesday afternoon on the north coast, definitely for the North Gulf Coast with rain across Prince William Sound into the southern Kenai Peninsula, southern Cook Inlet. Wet day for Kodiak Island, some showers in Bristol Bay, but northern half of the state, actually more than the northern half, say from, call it the Alaska Range on north. Pretty good conditions, light winds with a fair amount of clearing and variable cloudiness. And we still have a trough there toying with the Arctic coast with chances of snow still on the central and west side there, but whatever falls should be pretty light. And this trough dropping southward will bring gusty winds and rain into the Pribilof Islands and start to bear down on the eastern Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula in the afternoon hours. Otherwise, winds will be diminishing for the central and definitely the western Aleutians as this low pulls eastward. And for the lows tonight in the 20s to lower 30s. North slope in the Arctic coast, anywhere from 30 to 35 here in the west, and upper 30s to lower 40s for the Tanana Valley, 40s south central Alaska to Kodiak Island, as well as the Aleutians and the Bering Sea, upper 30s in Bristol Bay, and 40s to lower 50s for the Panhandle. Highs tomorrow, warmest over the southern southeast coast, 55 to 60 there. And in the 50s here across much of southern Alaska, east and south of the Alaska Range to the west, highs in the 40s, closer to 50 out over the Aleutians, mid to upper 40s in the interior, and 30s from the Brooks Range to the Arctic coast. And for the lows on Tuesday morning, we got 20s now, south of the Brooks Range, Kobuk, Bettles area, lows in the 20s, and that'll extend out into the North Slope with lows in the 30s. Here across the interior areas, in fact, closer to 30 degrees. Some areas 30 to 35 around Fairbanks, and 40s for southern Alaska, in the 50s, or 45 to 50 for the southeast coast. And then the highs for Tuesday afternoon, 40s and lower 50s in southern Alaska, 50s and lower 60s for the southeast coast, 40s in the central interior, and in the 30s for the northern part of the state.